Welcome to Warblog. Today we are looking at one of the backlog items. Look at all these coming soons. I just realised if I did one a week it would take me half a year to get through. I was going to do a random one from the middle of this list just to break it up, but I decided to do it the hard way, and I've done this one now, so there's only one more on this page. And the thing is, I don't know, I'm just sort of like this, but if you look at it, I mean, it's massive in the sense it's large. It didn't take a little bit of time to do. So, not only are there lots of them to do, they're all quite large. And so they take a long time, even making the map. This one hasn't got any gradients or any sort of variant terrain, really. I don't know. So, obviously, we've got a front line like this. It's actually quite insane, really. Maybe there's too much. But I like the too much, you know. I mean, where do you even begin? It's not as though you can say, oh, I've got a battle group here or there. I mean, it is almost virtually solid. It's obviously clearer. Blocks of defence there and there. Maybe not so much here. But where to attack from? Let's just have a look at the disposition. I mean, we've got a stack there, but most of these things are really just sort of ones. But for the Syrians, they've got stacks of artillery, where there's some armour, motorised, mechanised. So stack of artillery, stack of artillery. I seem to remember doing that. So we've got artillery, 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 and then on the front line we've got some deployed artillery there, there, and nowhere else really, it would appear. As though we're using this, and that was the front line. Masses of equipment, really. So you can sort of spot the stacks of heavy equipment just waiting to do something. I think that Syrians have got way too much. But it was a part of the time when they were just walking through things. The date on this is, well, oh, I don't have the date on it. But we've got to take everything, basically. So, in the first instance, the real slog, thinking, well, what could you do? What could you do? I mean, We really got to somehow figure out a strategy for bringing these things up to the front line. But there isn't really a sort of a weak spot. We can sort of say, well, we're going to shift these along here or there. Wherever they go, they're going to win, I think. Although the thing is, what you do find is that the towns and the villages are heavily defendable places. Now that's going to be along the sort of the front line, but you know, Tal Dibs, Cannaes, Hazan, which has got a scenario of its own, I think. You know, they're all going to be difficult ones. I'm not sure what side that's on, but the thing is, there's not a lot. There's not a lot sort of in between. I mean, once this front line breaks, it's not as though they can fall back to something. They've got a long way to go. And even here, there's only this one town, one village. So it's not as though there's a lot of defendable terrain. One there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. I don't know where to begin really, because it's not like the other ones where you can sort of think, oh, this is going to be a strategic direction. It's just a mass of units. I should maybe thin these Syrians down a bit, really. See, we've got to get some engineers on that. Got mines there. Got a block of earthworks and things there, and a block of earthworks and things there, which I think we need to bring some engineers on. So we've got some engineers there. Where have we got engineers? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Well, these engineers can prepare to go to these earthworks. Obviously, this guy can go sort of there. He's sort of on his own, really, but these, I guess, can all go up here, and maybe he should head up that way as well. Because the Syrians are only really looking to remove earthworks. I mean, on that note, we can possibly look for the HTS engineers. Well, I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there might be 1 or 2 more. be under a stack, but they might want to start actually building additional features, but it's not going to really amount to much. But just as a sort of a counter balance on the Syrian engineering units. And so that's what we've got really with regards to that. There's some engineering units in there, so there's an additional one there, there's an additional one in there, so there are two more. But the thing is, where to move the units, what to move. I think what I'm struggling with in the first instance is trying to figure out who's going to move where. What are the sort of the main blocks? To put it into perspective, for example, we could say that this is a block of units. This is a block of units. This is a block of units. This is a block of units, and that's a block of units. Now, obviously, they are, and this is the only one that's not really exact. You could almost say that this is the block of units there, this section here. So you could almost say that we've got 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it depends on how you want to sort of define it. And the point I'm trying to get to is I haven't actually got there. I've just done that because I know that essentially, however you figure it out, it's going to look something along those lines. They're going to be blocks. So the question is really, this looks like quite a good section. This looks like quite a reasonable way of doing that. That looks like quite reasonable. And you could almost say this is. It depends. Whether you wanted to have this as 1 up to there or up to there. Where you wanted these dividing lines. But here is almost doubly tricky, because where do you divide it? Is it 1? Do we want to treat it as 1, or do we want to say that this is the northern sector and then this is the southern sector? Because there's nothing there. Look, we could almost kind of just use this section to win the game, and all these other things are irrelevant. Here really don't appear to have the right sort of volume. I think I might just start moving things. So this is where I have the most difficulty really. So they've got 3 rocket batteries there. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So we've got 3 there. So it'd be nice to take them out, but they're separate, they're isolated from each other, so we can't just do them in one stack. So in the first instance, it might be good to sort of try and do that. They don't have a lot of air defence, and so to double up on everything that we can, so maybe move that to there, put something in on top of it, so we've got a solid line of two, somehow reinforce that unit. Maybe we could do that with him, and if not, move him to there and then shuffle him into there. We've got a spare unit there that could either move to there, and then these two units can move into there. We could move into there with these, and that would create us a nice double line. I think what I'm going to do first is to try and create a double line. Ugh, I'm so tired actually, and I only just got up. To sort of try and control and define the front line, but this can, I think we can safely remove that straight away. What I am thinking is editing the scenario and doubling up on all the front line units, doubling them up, because I just don't think that the HTS have the density to actually even make it particularly challenging. Although it's not meant to be challenging, but sometimes I do like it to at least be a little more like that. I want to go for these rockets. I've got 4 range, 1, 2, 3, 4, so they can all hit something. You know, we can pull back. You know, and the thing is, this is a weak spot. If we could break through there, it's sort of what they did. Break through here. And this is what they did. They went like that, and then like that. So it didn't go through there, and it didn't go necessarily through there, but really focused on this area, yeah, but I want to sort of think about taking that out. So we could use the rockets to take that out. So he is. So we got the town, Sawami. Putting these engineers into there. Okay, that now means we either move troops in there and get blown up, or we pound these units and somehow move in there. So we've got some artillery. Right, let's put some rockets in there. Well, that was all a big bag of rubbish. 0.3. Air defense units, put it to a quarter, 0 damage. So that unit has really had an easy time of it, 1.4. Because otherwise we're going to get this engineering unit attacked. I mean, this might be overkill, but it might not. But I really want to push him back. It wasn't necessarily overkill, but we've got the odds right there because now we've taken that. Anything that moves in there will not be able to move next turn anyway, so that's not so bad. Three to one on the DR. It's probably a 3 to 1 as well. We got the numbers we needed. Really want to push something into there. And that will protect our engineers, but we can't. The only chance we've got, really, and there's nothing we can move in there really, is to put him in there. Into the minefield. 0.8 damage. He can't even move in there. That's interesting. She seems to be irrelevant. So that's that section sort of done. And all because we needed the imperative of protecting the engineers. And I hadn't thought that far ahead. I just moved him in there. And because he moved him in there into a sensitive position, I had to pull him back. Now, there's a stack of 3 units in there now, so we can maybe commit some air power onto that. Six, 1.2.6. No, there's that thing. Somehow the stacking doesn't always work. Where do we want to push this artillery? I think that these guys can do with maybe going in this direction. So he's got 1.2 movement left. .5 damage. So we got some damage, but we know we've got such a big stack in there that they're safe. But what I do want to do is to commit this as a reserve in this area. Now we should be able to just take this. Now that's a weak unit there. So we'll have to shuffle that up there. He moved accidentally. Now he's moved back. Well, that's relatively strong. Well, not really. So it gets a bit weaker here, doesn't it? Look at that. So we should be able to push him back. Let's at least try that. Last thing we want here is an AR. I don't think we'll get that, but 6-1 DR. I like the way you look at it like this, it's quite empty. It just shows how much work there is to do. Even just moving the counters up there would take a long time. Do we chase him? No. There's a lot more to do, and I don't want to do it. I'm tired. My hand just got up as well. And I've done 30 minutes. Okay, I'll leave it there and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.